Hello, welcome back. I am Ramdan, Unification Sanctuary, Italy. This is the second video about God's centered sexual revolution from the Second King Sunday service. Reading in the book of Leviticus, this will take us to a clear message on sexuality. And as the Second King named it, the God-centered sexual revolution. Through the Second King sharing, he gives a clear explanation on this important topic. I learned a practical aspects and how it is real, the God-centered sexuality in the Bible. It will leave you with a clear message about sexuality and important aspect in our lives.
This is a real sexual revolution. Do you see? Go ahead, next one.
Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswomen. It is wickedness.
That's right. So you will not have a woman and then try to rape her daughter. Otherwise you will die. You see? You see this? Why? Because this was a culture. It's fine. This was a culture that was okay. Rebellion. Go ahead. Next one.
Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister, to vex her, to uncover her nakedness, beside the other in her lifetime.
Neither shall take a wife's sister. You see, the man will lust even after his wife's sister. That's traditional Satanism. In traditional mankind culture, that's done. See, all these postmodernists, they want to go back to traditionalism. You see that? They're not, they're the ancient ones. They're not new thinking at all. They're very old thinking. Go ahead, next.
Also,
What verse are we at? 19, okay.
Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness.
Okay. They're talking about also menstruation periods. It could also be if the woman is, in the unclean period. Yeah, Bible is talking about menstruation periods. Right? Okay, next one.
Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife, to defile thyself with
Wow,
her.
you see this? Look, the neighbor's wife is not related to you.
And thou shalt
Wait. Not related to you, but still God says, don't touch your neighbor's wife. Don't even think about it. God is setting up a rebellion, a revolt, what we call a revolution against the normalized practices of traditional Satanism in the culture. Isn't that interesting? Next.
And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord.
Okay, so here again, you will not participate in what? Child sacrifice. That means burning your children up, right? And killing your children. He's also saying this is part of the sexual revolution, is that we're going to start protecting children from sex trafficking, from cultic prostitution, and of course from being burned alive. Next verse.
Thou shalt not lie with mankind, as with womankind it is abomination.
Now, what does this mean? Homosexuality. Homosexuality. It is what? Tova. Everybody say tova. It means abomination. This is Tobama. No, tova. Okay. It means abomination. It is the most censorious word in the Bible. The most condemning word. So notice he said, all those you shall not do. But then look at it in verse 22. He says, you shall not engage in homosexual behavior. Or that is what? Tova. It is abomination. Why is that? Why is that? Why did Judaism and, Judeo-Christian culture, why did they stood up and rejected homosexuality? By the way, which was not common in the ancient world. Every culture accepted homosexuality. Let's go to that article. Bring the article up. This is one of the articles. Great article, by the way, if you want to read more into this, by Dennis Prager. And it's called Why Judaism and then Christianity Rejected Homosexuality. And by doing so, how they protected the rights of women. Women. And they ended up protecting, of course, the rights of children. It was a sexual revolution against the destructive, abusive traditionalism of Satanism that would destroy society. Let's take a look at this article. This is a phenomenal article, by the way. Now, let's read it. Let's read it together. You guys read a paragraph, okay? Let's work through this. This is beautiful. Go ahead. One paragraph.
When Judaism demanded that all sexual activity be channeled into marriage, it changed the world.
It changed the world. Go.
The Torah's prohibition of non-marital sex quite simply made the creation of Western civilization possible. Societies that did not place boundaries around sexuality were stymied in their development. The subsequent dominance of the Western world can largely be attributed to the sexual revolution initiated by Judaism and later carried forward by Christianity.
Okay, let's go next.
This revolution consisted of forcing the sexual genie into the marital bottle. It ensured that sex no longer dominated society, heightened male-female love and sexuality, and thereby almost alone created the possibility of love and eroticism within marriage, and began the arduous task of elevating the status of woman.
Interesting. Okay, let's keep going.
It is probably impossible for us who live thousands of years after Judaism began this process to perceive the extent to which undisciplined sex can dominate man's life and the life of society throughout the ancient world. And up to the recent past, in many parts of the world, sexuality infused virtually all of society.
All of society, including religion, by the way. And he gets into that. Go ahead. Okay, if you have a hard time reading English, just go to the next person, okay? Who can read English?
Human sexuality, especially male sexuality, is
polymorphous
or utterly wild, far more so than animal sexuality. Men have had sex with women and with men, with little girls and young boys, with a single partner, and in
Okay, now look, this is getting explicit, and the young dumb bums are starting to giggle. Don't be dumb. Okay? This is historically. He's talking historically, okay? He's talking historically. These are realities in history, right? Okay, and now this is going to get into some stuff that obviously your parents should be talking to you about. Okay? So if they're not talking to you about it, you're giving that away by giggling. Because if you giggle, you're telling me that your parents are not talking to you about this. Which is a shame on your parents. Okay? Is that true? That's a shame on your parents. Your parents should be talking to you about this stuff. Right? Ask any one of our children if we talk about this stuff to our children. What do you think they're going to say? Huh? What do you think? Okay, go ahead, ask him and find out, okay? So, pay attention. This is a very important historical study. Go ahead, next. Go ahead, keep reading that chapter. Paragraph. Okay, so men have sex with, remember he said men's sexuality is polymorphous. You understand? Everybody remember the word? Polymorphous. That means they want to do it with everything. Many forms. Morphous, or meaning forms. Many forms. They want to do it with everything. Okay? Animate and inanimate. All right? He's going to get into that. But again, This is not, these things that people of God have to understand. This is the existing culture of the day. Go ahead, continue that paragraph.
With total strangers,
Okay, hold on. Men have sex with women and men, little girls and boys, single partner and large groups. Okay, go ahead.
total strangers and immediate family members, and with
This
a
is real.
variety of domesticated
Animals.
animals.
Okay.
They have achieved orgasm with immediate
Inanimate objects,
objects such as
leather,
shoes,
shoes, other pieces of clothing.
other-
There's even on the Queen's on the Lion Queen's TV, she showed that there's people who are so mentally deranged, they're trying to have sex with automobiles. There's pictures of it, caught on parking garage cameras. You understand? Automobiles. Anything that gives them a sense of, admiration, they want to have sex with. You understand? This is the state of affairs of traditionalism of mankind. That's, of course, not connected to God. God is the one who made the revolution against this kind of satanic traditionalism. God is the one who initiated the rebellion. Okay, go ahead.
and
By the way, this is not only here because even if you look at the Buddhist Vinaya, which is the Buddhist monastic code, the monk's code, there's all sorts. You can't have sex with eye socket of a skull because the Buddhist monks were trying to have sex with the eye socket of a skull. Anything. That's in the actual tradition of Vinaya. So it's because most people are uneducated and they're totally ignorant that they don't think this thing happened. No. If you're really educated, you'll know how deceitful and decrepit man is. You'll see how traditional manhood, traditionalism in Satan, centered on Satan, has been so wicked. Across cultures, not only in Western world, no, across cultures. Go ahead.
and other pieces of clothing through urinating and defecating on each other. Interested
Okay, you can blah, blah, blah. Go ahead here.
by dressing in women's garments.
Transgenderism, right?
By watching other human beings being
Tortured.
by fondling
Children of other
fondling
sex.
children of either sex, by listening to a woman's
Disembodied voice, like phone sex, right? You understand? This is why people are so uneducated. You never learn about this in, quote, your education, which is the reason why, in, quote, higher education, you have an 8 times more likelihood of becoming a lesbian. 8 times becoming a lesbian and engaged in homosexual acts. Because they talk about sexual experimentation, but they never tell you this crap. That you're not trying anything new. You're trying something very, very ancient and old and nasty. You're not creative. You're deranged. You're an ancientist. You're not modern or progressive. You're an ancient. Go ahead. Okay, phone sex, and of course, okay, what?
And of course, by looking at pictures of bodies or parts of bodies.
Fetishism, right? Pornography, but no fetishism, right?
There's-
Men will look at a woman's wrist and be, eroticized. You understand? Or like a woman's toe or some crap like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you understand? All right.
There's a little animate or inanimate that has not excited some men to orgasm.
Okay? This is the state of reality that you girls don't understand. You girls don't get it. And so you don't understand what predators are. You have no clue. You have no idea what kind of lascivious nastiness is going on in their brain. You have no idea. Girls are so brainwashed. You have no idea into the inner recesses of man's deviant, traditionalist sexuality. And you want to believe the lie of freaking, what's her name? What's the feminist name? Steinem and what's her name? Friedan, saying the marriage is the deathbed of freedom. No. You are the deathbed of freedom by believing in Satanist traditionalism. You are the deathbed of freedom, not marriage. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's see how they break down. Go ahead. Jump over. If the folks can't read English, so we'll just jump to the next person. Give me. Next. Katsumasa, next. Okay, if you're not confident, you can just pass it down. Somebody can.
I can read.
Go ahead.
From where? Okay. Of course, not all of these practices have been condoned by societies. Parent-child incest and seducing another man's wife have rarely been countenanced, but many have, and all illustrate what the unchanneled, or in Freudian terms, the unsublimated sex drive can lead to.
The unsublimated sex drive can lead to.
Thank you very much for watching the video and see you to the next video. Goodbye.